portion of time at the top.
There you go. There we
All right.
go.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's great to see you all. We have some amazing updates
Oh,
for
yeah.
an event that we have coming up, but also our collaborative. Cleta, what did we change the name to?
Oh, yes. Okay. So let me get this out. And again, happy Sunday. We just wanted to go out and really get this going. So this is us raw, right? So we originally were going with, as you know, and you've been following us, we've been calling it Freedom Homeschool Collaborative. And it's been a platform that we are building up and reaching out with, of course, you know, that whole homeschool movement that has been going across and pretty much education. And then we are hosting our second annual Freedom Homeschool Expo. However, in collaboration with Turning Point Academy and just conversations and what we've been having, we realized that we've gone beyond the whole homeschool movement. And what I mean by this is that in 2020, when many of us broke away, myself included, from public charter school, I had my girls enrolled in charter school, broke away in 2020. And in 2021, we launched a educational center for homeschool families because everybody was leaving and everything. So, but what's amazing is since 2021, God has literally shifted all of us, Nicole and myself included, in the sense of what he wants, what God wants. And I love how God, you know, and that's where it comes into, and I think I talked about this, how when we humble ourselves before the Lord and trust his will and the way he directs, everything else falls into place. So that being said, we're excited to change our name too, for both platforms or for the event.
So for the event, it is now Freedom Education Summit. We are excited about that. So it's not just for homeschoolers, and we welcome homeschoolers. We love you. Homeschooling is amazing, but we also want to invite not just homeschoolers, right, to this event. Teachers, current public school teachers, maybe private school teachers, or retired teachers. In addition to that, we want to invite the grandparents, you know, the ones who have kiddos, they want to see the best happen for their kids who are about to have babies, or all the other kiddos who are running around, and for the moms and dads who want options, and maybe they don't want to necessarily homeschool themselves. They want to join something like what we do, maybe a little closer to where they're at. Not just that, we want to invite activists. So our CRA friends and all of you amazing freedom fighters, we want to invite you as well. Rosie, we love you so much, our new CRA president here. Woohoo! And Brad Tobias, you are a veteran. We would love to have you at this event. We're going to have amazing speakers, lots of resources, lots of tools for the community that's not just homeschoolers. So it's a great opportunity. And you guys, if you have kids, bring them. We will have a kid zone outside, and we'll be having people who will be able to watch your kiddos, help keep an eye on them, so you guys can really delve deep into all of the things that our speakers will be offering and having to say. And if you're a vendor and you'd like to have a table and you align with our views, and our views are posted on our Instagram, which is the Freedom Education Collaborative. We're going to do some updates on that too, because we do have to change the name there.
Yeah.
But, you know, we are not partnering with the government, because God has called us to do something, and that is to raise our children in the way that they should go, so that they will not depart from it once they're older. So that means that we do not parent, we do not co-teach, we are not hand in hand with charter schools, because that is also public education. But we also want to invite you people who do go to charter schools to see the difference and learn about these things going on. We are having Rebecca Friedrichs, who was a public school teacher, and she is going to talk to you about the unions and the grip that they have in public education, and that includes charters. And if you're a Christian and you're doing charter, we've talked about it so many times before. Charter and Christians do not go hand in hand. When you have an education system that will let you talk and use anything except for the one true God, that's when you know something is off, and your values have to align 100% with that. So we will not be having vendors who are charter accepting vendors, but we would love to have each of you here at our event. And we pray that it's eye-opening for you guys and that you're
Yeah.
able to grow with the wisdom that our speakers will be bestowing upon you. And I pray that God speaks to any of you, and it's going to be awesome. And homeschoolers, as we said, you are all invited. Super cool. We're going to have resources, different tables, different speakers for different things that we do in the community and that our speakers do. I mean, you'll get to learn the history of education with Bill Federer. That's going to be
Oh my goodness.
amazing. I
Yes.
love listening to him, and he's going to have a table. His son let me know he will have a table with some amazing books that he has. So I encourage you, if you love history, it's appropriate for children, it's appropriate for adults, to be used for your curriculum and your educational services. And pastors, especially our pastors, we want to invite you.
There you go.
Especially our Friday, but a Saturday as well. We will have some special things for you pastors, you activists, mamas, papas, grandparents, everyone.
Come
We'll
on.
have a lot for you guys, and we're going to be uniting with some pastors this Friday, and we're looking to invite any pastors you guys may know in North County. I mean, it doesn't even have to be North County. It can be anywhere in California. You guys can come join us, because you guys can do what we are doing, what Turning Point Academy is doing. You can use this information and do your own thing where you have your church or where you're able to open up. And same with everything that Karen Eklund
Amen.
offers, right? She helps give us a toolkit to get the pornography out of schools so that we can have our children learning a good, solid education and not be filled with junk and nastiness and immoral, pervasively vulgar materials. It's gross, you guys. And of course, we're gonna have Huts.
Hutz, yep, Hutz Hertzberg. He's the CEO of Turning Point Academy, and he has just been an amazing, leader in this movement across America and what we've been doing with this educational movement and reviving education. And so he'll be here. He's actually going to be here on Saturday. We'll put the schedule out. I know his is at 3 p.m. And then of course everybody else's, we'll get that schedule out for them. But we'll also have Jennifer Burns out here and Scott as well. They're from Turning Point Academy. And this is the first time they're out here and in San Diego. As you know, we do a podcast called Women of the Word, and we've been really encouraging pastors. Our focus is, of course, women. So myself as a pastor's wife, I've been encouraging pastors' wives to kind of reach out to us and in the sense of, because I know it could be kind of difficult. And then as you as a ministry leader, and it's been such an amazing thing to be able to really talk about the unasked questions or talk about things that, we can't talk about that because, we might offend somebody, but we all know what God's word says. And so it's not necessarily about offending, but we have to wake up in this. I mean, we have such an opportunity to make a difference in this next generation. We can't be silent no more. The church should not be silent. And so that being said, this is an opportunity for you to connect with us in person at this, what we're calling Freedom Education Summit. No longer expo. We're opening it up beyond homeschool, because we've literally realized all the connections we've been making is with educational warriors across the names that Nicole just mentioned. And it's so important that you understand that this is beyond what we originally thought we were going to be doing, just about a couple of homeschool moms and owning, having our own business and stuff. And God has literally taken to us and stretched us beyond what we never thought of. We're thinking, we're just going to have a homeschool and teach classes and help out our homeschool community families, but it's actually gone beyond that.
Yeah.
And I mean, like Nicole is going to be running for school board. And so, I mean, you see that there's a lot of stuff that God has us doing that we realize that, okay, this is bigger than what we ever possibly imagined. And so we're excited about that. But I do want to share rather quickly as you guys are tuning in to our little quickly raw update that we want to give you. And if you can follow us on Instagram, we will have a website. I think on X, because we do have a lot of, and and we love, how do you do it? Love the X followers. We have a pretty interesting platform on X, and we love what Elon Musk is doing. And as far as free speech and not being, which is interesting because it's the one platform where we can speak freely and not get shadow banned or all of those other things that we see with Instagram and Facebook and so on and so forth. So we're learning how to maneuver through all of those and stuff. But anyhow, all that to say is, so if you follow us on Instagram, we're going to have, because that's where the pretty little platforms come in, right? You have those little, I don't know what you call them. It's just, people like to see that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. But anyhow, we will have it up on X, and we'll share it on X. But what it is, it's called Freedom Education Collaborative. So right now you'll see it as Freedom Homeschool Collaborative. We're going to actually change that. Hence the reason why we're actually going live right now. So as soon as you get off, you look up Freedom Education Collaborative on Instagram. More than likely with X, I'm going to have it on my personal page, on Cleta Riojas page, as well as the church page at the Cross O side, because that's where a lot of, basically followers, and those of you that have been following me on X, on my personal page, you see everything that I'm all about. And it's definitely, of course, for those of you who are like-minded with Trump, MAGA all the way. So, there's a lot of us on there. But anyhow, real quick, I just want to share with you, it's called Freedom Education Collaborative. And what we've done is we're really focused on what she was saying, and we're basically doing reviving education. So the whole mission of Freedom Educational Collaborative, and I'll read this so you can go on there, but I just want you to kind of quickly understand what we're doing. And basically the whole purpose is us being Freedom Collaborative stands as a beacon of hope, and we're advocating for the educational landscape that's grounded in Christian values. And that is so important because the mission and what we're doing, our heartfelt mission, is really aimed at reclaiming the essence of education, not just for homeschool families, but just like she said, we're reaching beyond the homeschool community, because we know not a lot of you can homeschool.
Yeah.
And we understand that. I think half of our students at Freedom Generation are from families that work full time, and we've figured out God has literally kind of paved the landscape of the roadmap, if you will, on how to make it work for working families where it's actually affordable. And that's because also of our partnership with Turning Point Academy. Charlie Kirk, thank you so much for what you're doing. We love.
We appreciate you, and our kids here, literally, they love you. Amfest all the way, anything TPSA Faith does. They love all of your everything. I can't even put it into words. The kids love what Charlie Kirk does, and I mean,
they're like mini Charlie Kirks
really
in the making.
They really are. Why am I a bigot? Why would you call me a bigot? Okay, well, give me some facts for that. These kids can just go on and on and on. But that is so awesome, right? Because not only is God their foundation, but they are able to learn the truth. They're not being, cast down and told to learn something that has nothing to do with truth and history. Amen. Right? The junk food from public education, which is unfortunate for them. Mm-hmm. They deserve a really good and rich education as well. And this is why we're starting an amazing movement. So
yes. And so and speaking of that, the other part that I wanted you to know is the call, where this whole thing is this call for educational revival. And there's so many, and we'll talk further about that. But one of the things that is important to us, and like what she was mentioning earlier about our whole collaboration, so to speak, is uniting for like that whole common purpose. And our whole focus is inviting everyone from this point. Again, we talked about homeschool families, but also private Christian educators. So there's a lot of private Christian educators out there that are, again, same mindset, but it's coming together in unity with them. Also, this whole platform that we're doing in this whole connection is public school exit families. And that's where, in a lot of public school exit families, they think the only way they can exit public school is to homeschool or do a super expensive Christian private school, which in many ways, especially here in California, it can be expensive. You're looking at, my goodness, I've seen 10,000 on up a year almost. or something crazy. So it's so possible to still pull your kids from public school and not have this tremendous, again, and this is all God bringing all these people together. Retired teachers, we want to reach out to the retired teachers. Yep. We know so many that look at what's going on in the public school. They're like, wow, it was never, I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it is now.
Yes. And not only the retired teachers, but the current teachers.
Yeah.
And the current people who are working in administrative positions throughout these school districts. I know a lot of you, and I'm going to be contacting you. So if you're watching this, you'll be getting a message from me.
Amen.
And it's such a good thing that we're going to have Rebecca Friedrichs there, because she will give you options for those of you who are still in the schools, who are still teaching or administrative positions, that you guys do not have to be bullied and you do not have to choose the things of the union. So praise God for that. That's why we're reaching all of these different peoples and communities. It's awesome.
And we do, and you know, a lot of kind of heading back, segueing into about this, what we're putting together, and kind of it is a platform in the sense of bringing everyone together, like kind of a resource area, like where can you go to connect with people. So this platform is going to be where you can just click, and the most important thing that I want to emphasize, it's Christian, right? So we're putting Christian educators, Christian homeschool families together, like someone that you can trust. You know, as myself, like I said earlier, I was part of the charter school system. But I could not, as a charter family, I could not teach my child, even though she was only going 2 days a week at a public charter. Everybody there was predominantly Christian. But even though they were all Christian, kind of like, you know, when you're at a public school and you're a Christian, you cannot teach from a biblical worldview. And so I understand you're basically compromising. You're teaching your child to compromise in that sense. So anyways, the point that I'm getting to really quickly is that everything that we're connecting is going to be Christians from everything from a biblical worldview. Also, like she had mentioned with Karen England and Rebecca Friedrichs, they're going to be really important in helping you kind of either do that public school exit, or what can you do in the meantime while you're wherever you're at in the United States. How can you navigate through the woke ideologies of public education from your child, and, you know, eventually get connected in other areas and stuff. And so that's so important. But I that's a really big thing, because I know when we talk about community, you know, we want to make it clear that it's Christian and not just, oh goodness, a little bit of everything. And that's really been kind of the whole, I guess you would say, in the homeschool movement. It's been kind of difficult to navigate as a Christian, because you don't know really where to go, who to trust, because there's so much out there, right? As far as curriculum and resources. And so you can get kind of, I want to say, bogged down a little bit.
Yeah, you can. You do definitely get bogged down, tied down, overwhelmed
with all the different stuff out there,
all in front of you. So that'll be cool. And then once we do get that website up, you'll be able to go into different categories and click these different things, linking to different people. And it's just going to be super cool. I'm excited.
But for the main thing, and I'm actually going to do it as right now as we're talking, so that you can get the tag thing. So again, it is called, actually we'll do it right here. Username. I'm switching it right now, live here. I'm doing it. So the username is going to be, changing it right now on Instagram. Education Collaborative. I don't know. I felt like it was time. Oops, I'm not going to get the little thing in between, and done with that. So now you can look up, if you are, as you're watching live, go to Instagram and you will see right there, done. And change the name, Freedom Education Collaborative. And we'll go ahead and change the picture and everything like that. But this is good. I'm so excited. Again, it's Sunday. I know it's those of you who've already gone to church and you're right going time, but anything else you want to share real quick? I'm going to update the picture too. Go for it.
Contact us if you'd like to have a table at the
Oh.
event. If you would like to be there, if you need more information, address, all of that stuff, you can contact any of us. You can find us on the Freedom Education Collaborative, or you can even contact us personally. What's your Instagram handle?
Freedom Education. Oh, my personal.
Yeah.
Oh, Cleta Riojas. If you're on Instagram, so just my first and last name, CLETA, Riojas, RIOJAS. I'm mostly very active on X. I love X. It's so fun there. But for the most part, yes, I do update on my personal page on Instagram, Facebook, and then X and stuff. You'll find me a lot on X and everything. But yeah, so you can find me those 3 personal platforms.
Yep. And then for mine, any platform at Miss Nicole Watson, MissNicoleWatson. If you are not able to get through to us through the Freedom Education Collaborative, you can also contact us there. Exciting.
I know. This is really good. But again, we really do encourage you, those of you that are listening in and stuff, just, we've been the same. I mean, and those of you who know us personally, gosh, we've never really changed necessarily, like, I don't know.
Just grown.
Just grown in
More
the sense
connections.
our message has always been the same. And so we just really want to, there we go, changed. And of course I got to change that part. I love this, how we're going live. So if you just refresh your Instagram page, you'll see it. But anyhow,
and this will be uploaded on Instagram soon.
Yeah. Instagram, go on Instagram. We'll also post all the stuff we just talked about. So again, we're homeschool moms, but we're educators, right? And so there's something bigger that God is literally doing. And this is the bio you will find on our Instagram. So as far as tags go, reviving education with Christian values. So we're asking you, Christians out there, pastor's wife, to join our mission to reclaim learning for families and educators honoring our heritage. So this is something that is just been always near and dear to us. I mean, those of you who follow us are Women of the Word and watch us on weekly on Mondays, which tomorrow is a really fun one. I can't wait for you.
Yeah. That ended up being almost 2 hours. I love it.
I know. Was it almost? Oh my goodness. Yeah, we were going on forever, but it was
It felt like it.
That's what happens when women get together. We love talking and stuff, but again, this is us. This is us being raw and real. And again, we encourage you to reach out to us personally. We'd love if you live here locally, or if you come here on vacation, let's go have coffee together. There's a great coffee shop called Bistro at the Pier down at literally the Oceanside
Right
Pier.
on the Strand. It's beautiful. Best view ever. I mean, even working down there, which we do, and our kids work there too. So yeah, small
Teach 'em
businesses.
young.
You can have your kids working with your homeschooling laws and all that. You can start working early. Those kids.
That's a
not
whole other
child
thing.
labor, okay?
I know, it's
and they
not.
love it.
It's interesting. This summer, I know we're going to talk about it, and we might even have to teach it or do like some signups and stuff. But there's ways, as those you homeschool moms, or those of you who are business minded entrepreneurs like ourselves here, there's a lot of things that you can do to kind of supplement your income to make it possible
Yes.
for you to pull your children out of public school. And I know we've been advocating for this for such a long time. And a lot of times there's families say, oh, how do I do it? There's no way. It's because we've relied so long on government. We've depended on the government for so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't think it's impossible. You see like those Instagram or those videos of families like, oh, look at me, I'm homeschooling. And it's like, oh, I wish I could do that and I can't, and you're stuck, right? You think that you're stuck. Trust me, there are so many ways, and God opens doors when we become obedient. And the reason that we advocate so much is because it's going to take, I think I'm praying, a generation. Nicole thinks longer, which I tend to, So I'm like in between, but I'm believing it will take one generation to turn around education here in America, to change the trajectory of education, which could be a possibility. But you have another take on that, because I know it's so bad.
It's really bad. It's so bad. I mean, I posted something on TikTok the other day,
Oh
and
yeah,
it was just a
TikTok.
picture of literally something her daughter and I did. I didn't put her name on there, but it was just putting a little sticky note over the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and they were so angry. So angry. You should be ashamed as a teacher. I would
Oh,
never
I
want you to
love
be
it.
my teacher. I would sue you if you were my teacher. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, I gotta go on TikTok.
Why
That's
are you
funny.
so offended? It got like I posted within 2 minutes. It had over 1,000, over 1,700 views. It's like okay, I
I
know it
know
gets you
that's.
guys mad.
I love that. That is so funny. It's interesting. On that she'd mentioned that TikTok because we're both two different generations. I'm Generation X. Your generation. What
I
is
think
it?
I'm just a millennial.
Millennial. Millennial. Okay, millennial. So different perspectives, and then we also have Generation Z.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah. And so it's interesting to see the dynamics of generations. People from all different generations just I don't want to say waking up because we I remember when that word woke came out. It was just oh, but no, seriously, like literally going, where's the common sense in all this? And so, but it's so that's interesting. I gotta create a TikTok account or something to follow you. That's funny.
It's funny.
Wow, it's
It's funny.
interesting. But yeah, I guess that's how you have to reach them. Really, I guess that's interesting.
That's you.
Wow. But yeah, so all that to say, we just wanted to do a quick update. And again, those educational warriors out there and those of you who are speaking up and
Yeah.
just making a difference, even if it's just, a lot of times you think, oh, I'm not making a difference. I may, one person at a time is really what it comes down to. And we are focusing on one city at a time. So if you don't live here in California, you live in a different state and you feel like you're alone, just think about focusing on just your city alone.
Yeah.
What can you do to get involved in your city and change the dynamic of your city? And it's really important because if you look at just locally, which is we've talked about that many times, but when you focus on locally and what's going on, it does affect nationally.
Yeah.
I mean, and so you can make a difference if you just focus locally and then feel the sense of community at large in the United States when you connect with all of us and you don't feel so alone, right? I think there was many times I've met many people go, I'm so alone in this. Everyone is so woke over here. But I mean, we're in California. Okay. How woke can you get? Although I have heard, was it Connecticut? Was it Connecticut that she was saying? Massachusetts?
Who was saying?
Sam.
Oh, Connecticut.
Connecticut. So we've heard Connecticut. If you're listening in from Connecticut,
You need help.
well, yeah, and we're here to help you. I've heard Connecticut is probably even more woke than
Worse
California
than- yeah.
and Massachusetts, right? Wasn't it Massachusetts?
I don't
I think
remember, but
it was because
for
I remember
sure know
when we were
Connecticut.
talking. I think it was Massachusetts. Anyhow, all that to say is stay strong. Don't give up. Persevere in what you're doing. Continue to be a voice,
Yeah.
whether if it's, online and I know we're so busy all the time. Sometimes I forget to really do post updates and stuff like that. I'll do it maybe at late because, we're constantly working behind the scenes and a lot of things that we are so excited about in the sense of what God's doing. And so God is so good because, wow, he's good. But anyhow, continue, just keep up the good fight, stay focused on what God has personally given you. And again, reach out to us because we're going to grow this platform as a connection place for you to, if you're in a different state or even here locally, to get connected with other like-minded Christian warriors that are on the front lines and really making a difference because there's so many great ministries out there.
Yeah.
And we're going to connect them all so that because together we can make a difference rather than doing it. You don't have to be alone. God can use you even more so if we come together in unity for one common purpose. And the main thing that has been the common purpose is the children, because we have to take a stand on the front line for the children. This is our next generation. It's important for us to protect our children. And not just does it mean like my children personally with my girls and stuff and your son, but all the children, right?
All children.
Because I mean, they're affected. And if you don't think that you're affected, if you think maybe I'm single, I don't have children yet, or my children are grown, it's still we're still responsible for, I mean, the care of our children in this nation. We live in America and we're blessed to be here, but we have a responsibility, I believe, in so many ways, from a biblical biblical perspective, but also, I mean, if you look at the United States, my goodness, and how far away our country has gone from its original, and that's a whole other thing. If you don't know much about history, follow Bill Federer. What is it? The American Minute?
The American Minute on Instagram.
That's, yes. And amazing.
So sweet,
one of the best historians that I know.
Yeah. And don't be starstruck. He's so personable. You can have a conversation with no problem.
Yeah. That's the one thing I have noticed. One thing I've noticed too, that you just mentioned, starstruck. A lot of the people like we've connected with across, they're really just normal people. So like, when you said starstruck, it's so true, because these people are just normal people like you and I, just, working day in and day out. But at the end of the day, it's God has positioned them to do what they're doing. But yeah, these are humble warriors on the front lines. And that's what I love about Bill Federer, Karen England, Rebecca Friedrichs, Hutz Hertzberg, all the Turning Point Academy team, Charlie Kirk, all of them. I mean, and then you got, I want to say Pastor John
Manchuku. I'll go up to him and like, what's up? You lied to me. He's like, oh man.
Oh, because he came to California. That's when Marietta School Board. Yeah. So I know he's on his way back, but yeah. So, I mean, just like that, just God positions you, and God can position you and to be, oh my goodness, for such a time as this. There's so many things. But anyways, all that to say, Angela, we got to enjoy our Sunday. We love you guys. We just want to give you a quick update. Thank you for tuning in live. And we will post this video to, Instagram.
Yeah, we're going to upload it on there because we have to download it first because it's live. And Instagram has a crazy system with their live streaming. It does not save. It goes straight to archives. So got to do it either way.
I know. That's so funny. But yeah, follow her on TikTok. I'm going to. Oh, that's just funny. I got to get on that hilarious TikTok thing. But yeah, so definitely TikTok is your place. X, love my
Instagram.
X fan. Yeah.
I actually got banned on X for doing nothing. I wasn't even posting anything. So I was like, you know what? You're going to shadow ban me? I'm done. Hey, for your
services. They're working on their algorithms too on X. And it's interesting because I remember I had told you, and this is something when I went back on X, because before Twitter, when they did the thing they did to Trump, I remember that was just, I loved Twitter at the time because there were so many like just patriots on there. And I think I was like with you guys, like in the over, I don't know, 20,000 something, whatever. And then when they did that to President Trump, I'm like, bye, Twitter, see you later. So now going back to X, it is hard to kind of navigate because X does, there's some things they need to work on. And I get that. And I know, Elon, you're working on kind of, making sure you keep the porn over there. So you got to, it's a lot of work, but I get it. Anyhow, we love you guys. God bless you. Tune in tomorrow night, Monday, 6 p.m., Women of the Word. Yeah. We have an amazing topic that we discussed. But again, we just keep up the good work and God bless you.
Happy Sunday.